Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Played with Meg and Mike. We are here today with the fourth person voted out of Survivor Hamilton, Old Meets New, Wayne. How's it going, Wayne?
Shocked to say the least. But
Right?
yeah, no, happy to be here. Absolutely.
Sad to see you here. I have to say, one of my favorite tribal councils ever because it has two of my favorite things. One is a wasted immunity idol, and two is Mike Hamilton getting a little bit mad that people don't read the website well enough.
Right. Well, I'm glad to show up for this. So yeah, thanks for having me.
So Wayne, what happened?
Yeah, it's a good question. What happened? In the last 48 hours, I really laid back, right? I think the vote with David put I don't want to say unnecessary target, but it definitely put a target on my back as maybe somebody who was influencing or leading the vote. And then I realized that, right, in the conversations that I was having with people. So I decided to lay back and not really engage with individuals. But maybe that was a bad thing. I don't know. I'm kind of confused right now, to be honest.
It sounded like you took pretty much all the heat yourself for the last vote.
Honestly, it feels like that. And I'm not going to name names because I'm having so much fun. Even right now, I'm having a blast being voted out. This was the most fun I've had in the last 2 months of quarantine. So yeah, there was a lot of moving parts in the last few days. I've never shied away from saying that. Yes, I've definitely lied to some people. I broke alliances and made alliances. But in hindsight, maybe that was a bad thing. I don't know. I still feel confident in the way I played, but you know what? Kudos on those guys for filtering me out and getting rid of me, because I think in the long run, I really think I might have been a threat. Maybe that's me being too cocky in hindsight, but yeah, good on those guys.
So walk us through the David vote. We'll get back to this one, but walk us through the David M vote and kind of how the tribe split and why you think you were singled out, even though there was obviously 9 people that voted for David.
Yeah, so I think people recognized early that there were a lot of I gotta turn on my screen in front of me. There was a lot of conversations going on at face value where people were saying certain things, but then when you would speak to somebody else, you would realize, okay, the last conversation I had with A doesn't sync up with B, right? So I just think a lot of things weren't really making sense. So when I was approached in that vote with the information that I had at that time, I decided to flip on David and vote the way the majority went. So whether that information at the time was correct or not, I don't know, but I felt like it was beneficial to my personal game at that time.
Awesome. It sounded like Ruth kind of singled you out as maybe you lied to her specifically.
Totally. Yeah. Yep.
So what's she talking about there?
Yeah, I don't know. I like, naturally outside of this game, I'm a very social, casual person. Like, my personality is I want to be your best friend. No matter who you are in the world, I want to be your best friend. So I think that's how I approach this game, and that might have been wrong because I might have given individuals the wrong understanding of who I was. Right. So everybody just, I think, from what they were telling me was, oh, I trust you. You're a nice guy. I trust you. But then in my mind, I'm thinking, this isn't the Wayne that's in like everyday social society, right? This is the Wayne that's in a game where we're supposed to lie and deceit and deceive and, have fun. I brought that character of my personality to this game. I didn't bring the real world Wayne. which was fun because I got to live a person that I don't get to live every day, right? So, um, I'm here, I'm voted out. I had a
Yeah.
blast. I don't hold anybody in bad regards or anything like that. It was all fun. It was all fun.
I have to say, I think you took it pretty hard as well. Like you got it pretty hard as the liar to be somebody who was called out as lying. But that you're just the first one that got put on blast. Like we'll see as the game goes on who of those people have a leg to stand on, and like your word is important, but it's like you said, you're all going for there's one winner.
Yeah, that's it at the end of the day, right? I think if we all want to be best friends in this game and carry each other on our shoulders,
it's not Mike Hamilton's best friend race.
Exactly, right? So I think people just need to think long term. And I get that we're the new group and we don't have as much experience as yourself with the last few years in this game. But I think it's a learning opportunity for all of us. So hopefully we come back and kind of learn from this. Again, I had a blast, and if I was painted as a bad guy, I'm sorry, but I hope when we all meet up for the barbecue that nobody hates me.
I feel like we had two villains born this round. The one who sends the screenshots and the one who tells a lie. And it's rats and snakes, right?
That's it.
Meg, were you surprised during Tribal Council to hear everybody, basically every single person besides Wayne, basically agree, oh, we're all going to be honest?
I love to hear that. It's so sweet that they think that that's how it's going to go. But
exactly.
It's the truth though. Like when you get the radio silence, you can take it. And I had some conversations where I was like, votes, we're voting this way, and it just sucks. And then you can try to convince them to get them over to your side. It's just a lot of work. It's easier to just ignore it. So I don't know. And the screenshots too, I love it. So
yeah,
juicy.
It's so juicy.
I love that. You can fake screenshots. Everybody does, right? Okay.
Wayne, did you think you had the votes tonight?
So yeah, that's a good question. So I think maybe if you asked me that a couple days ago, I would have said yes. And then I noticed in the last 24 hours that chats for me, when I was engaging people, started to slow down. And then I started to pick up the cookie crumbs and realize, okay, maybe things aren't going the way I want. But again, I didn't want to be that assertive guy that was reaching out and being aggressive and saying, hey, what's going on? So I just kind of, I stayed with my tactic that I was saying 2 days ago to everybody else, that I'm going to play the bench. I honestly, I think these guys pulled a fast one. I love it. I'm not mad. I love these twists in game shows and things like that where you don't expect a certain outcome to happen and it happens, right? So yeah, I think things turned out awesome.
Did you have any ideas about who had the idol, and did you think it was going to get played tonight?
I did. Again, screenshots and things like that came into play. I'm not saying specifically Ruth because she obviously played the idol, but things did come into play where it made me lean towards a certain individual, where I realized, like, yeah, you know what, this person's going to play it. I think there might have been a little bit of an undertow to the game where I hope people pick up on. I won't obviously blow up anybody's game, but
well, we're gonna ask you to do that in a few minutes, so don't worry about it.
You know what? I was talking with my wife, and my wife is like the biggest. She doesn't even watch Survivor. She watches Survivor Hamilton. Yeah, it's crazy. And she was picking up on what I was thinking. So, and if what I'm thinking is right, and it'll come out in the next maybe few votes or a few weeks, good on those players, man. You guys are very strategic, very calculated, and yeah, you definitely pulled the wool over my eyes. Good job.
Well, and if you think about it, this vote basically came down to 6-7.
Totally.
Right? Or 7-6, right? 7 against you, and then it looks like your group was was meant to be splitting the vote on Ruth and Sharon. I heard them talking about a video chat that had just happened prior to ours. I heard people talking about, his baby, or Jim was just coming off another video chat. Were you on that?
That was the wrong room chat.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
I cannot confirm or deny that. I don't want to blow up anybody's game. But yeah, I cannot confirm or deny that.
Well, you don't want to say who you think didn't vote with you that you thought was going to vote with you?
I definitely want to tell you 100%.
Yeah. So say it, because you might not be right. This is just your perception.
Right. I think in the integrity of, you know what? I was perceived as a liar, and I was perceived as an individual that cannot be trusted. This might be my last just of saying that I will remain silent. I do believe there's an individual, but I will not say their name.
I respect your integrity, but I hate it.
It seems like it's a little bit too little, too late.
Totally.
Was John's name ever out there?
I'm sorry?
Was John's name ever out there this week?
So again, being completely honest with you guys, in the last 48 hours, I intentionally did not want to speak with anybody because I wanted to clear my name this week, the last 48 hours, from the last David vote. So I didn't want to be perceived as an individual throwing out names or anything like that. I was not part of any conversations at all. Up until maybe a couple hours before the vote, I was influenced on where to vote, and then that's where I went. Yeah. So John was not part of that.
So do you think you made a mistake by sitting back too far this week?
I totally did. In hindsight, again, the individual that I don't want to name names of.
We're going to figure it out anyway.
I should have spoke up where I could have, but I didn't. But you know what? That's the fun of the game. I got burnt in the butt, and I got to live with that. Hopefully next season or a couple seasons, I'll be back again.
Was there anybody who you got to meet through this game that you didn't know at all previously that you kind of did build a little bit of a good rapport with, that you kind of enjoyed playing with?
Honestly, quite a lot of people. And I actually spoke to you on private text when I said that these people in this game and your friends are a good reflection of you. And I genuinely mean that. I think these people that you associate yourself with are good people. These are all individuals. In real life, I think I could actually be friends with everybody. So that's, kudos to you for, associating yourself with really good people. And although we have the best intentions at most times, I think we tried to screw each other up at sometimes. But there's no one individual. I really think I could hang out with everybody and have a beer or have a coffee, right? And just kind of be friends with.
Well, I will say that everybody gave you a hard time about lying, but clearly somebody lied to you today or yesterday.
Absolutely.
So
you hear that?
Put them on blast.
There's liars still amongst you.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day. Again, it's I didn't intend to lie to people or to hurt people's feelings. My only intention was to kind of maybe bend the truth here or there, or say a white lie here or there. If I did say a straight out lie, I totally owned it when people would question me on it. But yeah, I just hope everybody realizes that it's an individual game and not a team game.
Well, and with us, you don't have to apologize for any of that, because you did nothing wrong. You played the game the way you're supposed to play the game. Everyone else is thinking, like, to Meg's point, I don't know if in Game of Thrones, the old lady called Bran, "Oh, you sweet summer child," right? Because you've never been through hardship yet. And I feel like that's what they're really thinking, is that, they're going to be able to get through this game scot-free. And some people have, I think, gotten pretty far. Like Megan and Stevie last season didn't really have to blow up anybody's spot too bad or really lie to anybody that tried to be honest. But there were certainly some people who it's easier not to tell them ahead of time that they're going home then it's easier to tell for them just to find out, because you know that you're going to get harassed or your phone's going to blow up or something if you bring it up ahead of time. And so it's easier just to let the votes reveal it.
Totally agree.
So besides kind of this week, in the last kind of couple of days where you sat back and you wish you'd been a bit more active, is there anything else you would change if you played again?
So in hindsight, I think if I approached the last 48 hours the way I did with the David vote, I think I'd be sitting prettier. I played a big social game before that vote, and I think I moved a lot of things around here and there. Not to say that I was the mastermind. I'm not trying to claim credit for that, because there was a lot of moving pieces. But I definitely think if I had have been a lot more strategic this time as I was, a few days ago, I think I would not be sitting here talking to you guys. But my whole approach again was to garner trust, right, and to show those 4, apparently 5, people that, hey, I'm here to clean slate and play a new week. But they didn't buy that, and it bit me in the butt. So good on those guys for maybe playing it right. So good for them.
How do you think that they're going to do in the challenges moving forward? Do you think they're just going to get wiped out, or do you think they'll get it together?
That's a great question. I think with us, our issue is our issue is we're up against individuals who've played for over a decade, right? I understand from talking with people that on the other tribe, or people that have played in other games who've not currently played, that it's not necessarily about the let's talk to each other all day, every day in the chats and strategically make up gameplays and this and that. I think that's our downfall. We talk too much. We just need to be more confident. I think the other team, they're more used to how they play and how they play with each other, where we just need to find that groove and kind of roll with it. I think in the last maybe challenge or so, or even the individual challenge, we've identified that. And I think moving forward, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, I think the other tribe really has something to watch out for.
Right.
So who do you want to see voted off your tribe next?
Pardon me?
Who do you want to see voted off your tribe next?
That's a great question. Again, I know the individual that might have screwed me over at the 5th vote.
You have to say the last 2 people were.
No, I will say this. I tried my best to not blow up somebody's game by being subtle with people. Whether or not they go back through my texts and read that's up to them. But I think it's pretty obvious. But I'm not going to name names. You know what? I played a game that I thought was to the best of my ability. It clearly didn't work, so I'm not going to blow up somebody else's game. I just hope everybody has fun, And
who do you want to see win the game?
Yeah. Oh, wow. So I don't know many people on the other tribe, so I'm going to exclude them immediately. Who do I want to see win the game? It's like, oh wow, how long do I have? I would say maybe. Fuck, does this put a target on them?
No. I don't think so.
I'm not convinced anybody watches this anyway, except for Sandra and me later tonight.
You know what? I think, okay, I'll be completely honest. From the very beginning, I was trying to drop subtle hints to Sharon. I think Sharon's a very strong player. I think she knows what's going on. She's aligning herself well. This is no way blowing up Sharon's game. I'm not trying to drop hints or anything like that. But I really do think that she might have a chance. And I hope she goes the way.
Awesome. Meg, do you want to ask about media recommendations?
Yes, I would. Can you please let us know one good podcast, TV show, book that you've been into during quarantine?
Oh wow. So I'm kind of an idiot savant, right? I'm not too smart. I watch a lot of comedy podcasts. So, for example, King and the Sting with Brendan Schaub and Theo Vaughn. Don't know if you guys know that. In terms, Joe Rogan podcast, all that, the popular stuff. In terms of books, I've actually started reading The Other Guy. Oh my God, The Boys. Excuse me. Had too much to drink, guys. So it's like it turned into an Amazon Prime show, but it's actually from a graphic novel. So yeah, I've been reading that. I'm actually on the 4th installment of that. It's pretty intense. If you guys are not,
I saw that Amazon show.
Yeah. Oh, it gets very, very graphic.
Very dark.
Very, very. Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. But yeah, no. In terms of, yeah. Okay. Sorry, somebody's disturbing me. Somebody's disturbing me.
It's okay.
Yeah. So that's it. It's those two, and then shows.
You don't have to pick one of each.
Yeah, I just watch a lot of like history and discovery and stuff. I'm a huge history buff and kind of a nerd like that. But
sweet.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, guys.
Cool.
I'm not that complex.
Perfect. Well, we're you and I were, you're one of the people that talk to me the most about the game and what's going on. And for me, that's literally the only reason I play. And so that for people who are watching this, if you're not messaging me at all with what's going on in the game and kind of how your week's going, then I probably hope you get voted out, right? Because I'd rather at least, it's like watching the show. It's like if you're watching the TV show and somebody doesn't get any clips, then it's like you don't even know what they're doing. So I prefer to kind of just get a snapshot into what's going on in your game. And Wayne, you were very open with me about what was going on, especially this past couple of weeks. And so I really appreciate that. And you sharing stuff on social media, doing stories on Instagram. I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, me too.
Way too short-lived, man.
Yeah. I totally had fun. My Instagram account and all the people that followed me, everybody's totally interested in Survival Hamilton. So I think you're gonna have a new fan base next season. So
I hope
with
so,
filtering people.
I hope so, man. Well, thanks again. I'll let you get to your long weekend here. Sorry it wasn't better news, but this is a super exciting, very, very exciting live travel council for sure.
Totally.
Good game, Wayne.
Thank you, guys.
All right, take care, Wayne.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right. I thought Meg was going to stick around, and then she didn't. So it's just me now. I wasn't fast enough to hit stop recording, so you still have this awkward bit here at the end. But it's been a great week.
Sorry, you sent me a text telling me to stay.
You're back. I was just talking about how awkward it was that I was here. I was expecting to talk more, and then it was just over. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the game so far.
Oh, I love it. It's so much more fun well, it's also fun because now there's people in my life who understand what that investment was that I made 2 years ago for so long. And they also understand why I maybe was a little bit cagey about trying to explain it because it was really hard to explain. But I don't know. I'm having a lot of laughs just watching the drama unfold. I have my popcorn and my blanket. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you get a Cineplex bag of popcorn?
I got it delivered to my house, and it was very expensive, but it was the best purchase I've made in the past 3 months. I was very impressed with how they packaged it.
Well, who did you buy it from?
From the movie theater.
So there's still people there making popcorn even though the movie theater's closed?
Yes.
Weird.
I know.
Just so people can order popcorn delivered to their house when you can go get Orville Redenbacher's? It's
not as good. And
Yeah,
hey,
you can make it that good. Sorry.
Okay, don't get mad at me for this. It was a great visual gag.
Oh yeah, I get that. I appreciate that. And you're doing a lot to class up the joint here. I'm just amazed at that. It's shocking to me. I've forgotten about Survivor Hamilton altogether just because I can't imagine anybody except for this specific use case ordering popcorn from a movie theater when they're not seeing a movie.
It's a really good way to level up your Netflix at home. I do recommend it. And
I
you
see.
get a little receipt for 50% off a rental from Cineplex. I'm not getting paid for this. This is not sponsored content.
But if anybody wants to sponsor the content,
throw me the kickback.
You're in. Yeah. So the videos added a lot, eh?
Yeah, I think so.
This?
Yeah.
I can picture the dynamics a lot better that way than before. I feel like I mentioned this to Wayne I really liked having some people explain to me what's going on. And it's like, that's how I get into the game. That's like my confessional videos that people would do. So when somebody calls me and talks about what's going on, that's like being a producer or being a camera guy, like asking the person on the island, how's your week going? Like, what are you working on? Right. And so I really enjoy that. And that's why it's always like a bummer to see someone like Wayne, who was giving me a lot of information, or Silas, who I'd talk with about that stuff, go home. But this was another vote. So I knew Ross was going home. The morning of, I thought Silas was safe and he got sent home. So they changed it. I knew David, pretty sure, was going home, but I didn't know Wayne was going to go home until those votes started coming in. I was surprised. Yeah.
You know, so somebody I have friends in the game, and this week was a weird one. I felt like I couldn't get a straight answer about what was happening in the tribes. I'm like, you can't trust me, and I think it's more that they didn't want my advice. They didn't want they have their ideas about how the game is going to get played and their moves that they want to make, and I think it was really, really fun to watch play out.
It was crazy that Ruth got the idol, because I was like, I knew Ruth is in danger, and then she got the idol, and it was like, oh, she's going to use it to save herself, and someone else is going to get sent home, right?
Yep.
And then I heard about the split vote plan, and I was like, oh, they're gonna flush the idol basically, and then somebody, either Ruth or somebody close to Ruth, is going to go home. Yeah. And then somebody put in the work, I guess, between last conversation and now to turn people around. And that's really what I was trying to tell the minority the whole time when I was messaging them. I was like, look, your job now is to convince some people from that majority to break off, because explain to them there's a bigger threat on their side, and we're people that you can trust. And it seems like that's what happened, but we're going to have to wait and see. But, jumping back and forth this way, is not a great way to build loyalty. Like I assumed that that group of 9 was going to stick. It was like, hey, they're going to stick together because that's all they have to do to get further in the game. And they've already split up.
The whole time I was watching that, I was wondering what the other tribe would make of it. I feel like they'd be watching it with that "You Sweet Summer Children" state of mind, because it's true, they're kind of getting a little all caught up in the interpersonal of it. But like, win the fucking challenges, you guys, and you don't have to have these conversations.
Yeah, the other tribe is going to be tough to beat. The way that they got that last one so fast. And they're basically like, one person got the answer and then everyone just copied the one answer. Right. Like, just like literally hold it, copy it, send it in. And so everyone answers the exact same format. Nobody has to you're not worried about somebody winging it and writing something different. So it's gonna take a lot for Navala to start winning these, but the other tribe is really enjoying their time off.
Yeah, I bet. No kidding. I also wanted to say I was laughing when, it is sad to see a player like Wayne go, one who's keeping you in the loop. And one of my friends was saying to me, like, maybe I should start calling Mike. And I was like, yeah, you could maybe text him. And then I had a flashback to me and Stevie and the frequency with which we would call you in the middle of the night to video chat with you. And then I realized I don't have any say on that. So everybody should call Mike Hamilton in the middle of the night. He really
but I agree to message me first. Like you said first. You message me first. But yeah, I want to talk about it. Yeah, well, that's true. We're in, like, I'm in, Sandra's in, we're talking about this stuff all the time. We don't really care about other TV shows as much right now. Like, yeah, the actual Survivor just finished and I could care less. Right?
If we go another week without seeing Kubara in Tribal Council, I would like to assemble them for a mini episode just to see how they're doing and their takes on the other tribe.
Yeah, maybe we could give them like a reward, like a live reward challenge or something to do.
Well, that would be interesting.
Yeah, something like, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. Like, let's give you something to win. Yeah, but I agree with that. Although I think that they may revolt, like they're just like, we're not going to show up unless we have to, because I think they're really enjoying this time, and that's what happens in the show too. Is if you go on like a streak and you never have to go to tribal, like you just continually build up your relationships, you continually get better at the challenges. Like you just have the time to do that. Although there will be some people who are just getting antsy because they want to vote somebody out as well. They're just like, okay, come on, I'm here to play, right? And so we just need to see if anybody. Go ahead and
throw the challenge if they want.
Hey, I've said that before. I said, yeah, you got to throw it. You can throw it if you want, but it's, when everybody's answering in 2 minutes, that makes it sometimes maybe easier to throw it because you can still be close. But like if you're continually performing well, then all of a sudden you're blowing it. You got to have a really good reason for it. Like we can't all be John Houses and just have 1,000 different excuses. Like we all like, right? It's like if Chelsea's going to throw a challenge, right? She's going to have a pretty good reason because everybody knows she's up at the top. And Chris actually this season has been up at the top as well. So it'll be interesting to see, but I'm pretty sure they're just going to keep winning or they're going to keep trying to win. But there's twists and turns that the game has that's in my schedule. So, we won't see this whole tribe get decimated. There'll be some things that happen.
Well, I'm looking forward
to it. Any plans for the long weekend? You gonna get out of the house at all? I think
I'll probably just work on this bag of popcorn for the rest of the weekend, and that's it.
I didn't ask. Was it good popcorn? Was it stale by the time it came to you, or was it still perfect?
It was still warm, not hot. Personally, my preference, I like a little bit of a stale popcorn. I want it to have a little bit of a give, a little squeaky in your teeth. So I have no problem with that. But I would say if you are hot popcorn exclusively, it was really tasty and packaged not one loose kernel. They're pros. It was really good. And I did not.
What was the butter situation?
I layered. I'm not fucking around.
And it wasn't soggy?
No. Amazing. It was so good. And I didn't ask for a reusable cup, and I got this Star Wars one.
Nice. With R2-D2 on it.
It comes up.
What's your powder preference? Do you have a powder preference or no powders?
When it was free powders, I would always get one for one of my powder friends, but I'm not so much a Powerpuff Girl. I'm a classic movie theater butter. That's all I need, and a root beer.
I have powder at home. Like I can't have popcorn without white cheddar.
Yeah.
Yeah, white cheddar or salt and vinegar. Sorry?
Are you a smart food guy or no?
Well, yeah. So I love smart food. It gets too much on my fingers though. I'm not the type of person who likes to eat and get messy fingers while I'm eating. Like I don't like.
Yeah. That's what socks are for.
No. That's not what. Sandra would agree with that, but no.
One reason.
Okay, well, let's let us all both get to our weekends. I got a lot of writing I got to do now because I was busy all day. But I am super excited where this goes from here. This tribe is. I don't think that this line that has been created is going to stick. I think we're going to keep seeing. Every week will be a different type of target and alliances will shift and change. And, some people, obviously 5 other people voted in with Wayne or didn't vote against Wayne this week. And so all those people will be figuring out what to do now. Right. And it's a different side, right? Because obviously the people who were on the bottom last week just got their way this week.
Yep.
And so I love that. Love to see that. The other tribe is just, I'm sure they're just watching this laughing. They're just loving it.
Well, they'll have their day too.
All right. Well, take care, Meg. Thanks again.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.